I got us squared away. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, lovely. You sure? Okay. Um, can I tell you in a minute? Very good, because I don't at this moment. I need to think about it. All right, we're back. We're back. YouTube. My computer's acting a little weird. So I am going to. Oh, that one is good, but the other one I'm going to delete. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for coming back. I appreciate. I'm so sorry, y'all. My computer is acting really, really, really weird. And so I am going to. Now I'm straight. So sister is on the journey with us to purchase her first car, right? So I have done all of these. My kids have seen me budget for years and years and years. You all know. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Ollie. I appreciate that for showing you guys how I budget, showing you the process. I know that some people do it differently than what I do it. I learned to do the zero-based budget system. Hey, Jola. Hey, friend. Hey, Miss Amanda. I'm so glad you guys are here. And this has worked for me. But over the years, my children have actually watched me budget, and they've watched me um, climb out of places I should not have ever been. I should have never gotten myself into those situations. But things happen. And so when things happen, you adjust, you punt, you do what's best for your budget, you do what's best for your family. And they have seen me come to a place of financial stability, right? Now, I will not lie to you and say we have all the money, all the things, but I will say that we are blessed. I will say that all of our bills are taken care of. I will say that God has given us streams of income. Again, some of those trickle in, some of those flow in. Some of them are overflowing. It is what it is. And God has been very gracious. My thankfulness is that even though it was a struggle in the beginning, my children have been able to watch the journey and they have seen me come out, but they have, what I want to say, they have taken up the same reins, if that makes any sense, right? They have done and they have budgeted. I know when Alana first started working when she was 16 years old, I managed her money. When I say I managed it, I made her, let me say this gently so people don't think I'm over here strong arming my children. But when you are very limited in your thinking, right? People would say, well, she's 16. She's old enough to think for herself. She can't vote. She can't buy beverages from the adult section. She can't do any of those types of things. So she was not, in my opinion, ready to manage her money. I do the same thing with Jackson when he gets birthday money or if he does a little job here or there or whatever. So what I did with her is I made her put into her savings account at minimum 40 to 50% of every paycheck she got, every birthday money, all of those types of things. Then they had to tithe off the top. Tithe was first. Everything else she split 50% went to 40 to 50, just depending on what she needed, would go into her savings account. And then whatever else was left, she was able to do whatever she needed. Alana is a very generous person and she likes to buy things for her friends or she knows somebody having a birthday or what have you. Then when she got to a point where she wanted to dress different, I was not buying clothes anymore because at 18, I stopped doing all the things. I pay health insurance, life insurance, eyes, ears, vision, all that. Any other stuff, shoes, clothes, all that, whatever you need, that's on you at 18. I know some people don't agree with that either. That's okay. Do what's good for you. We doing what's good for us because they are not no worse for the wear. But when she started doing that, she had to then begin to manage a smaller portion of money. And so now at 19, and she'll be 20 in January, Alana is a very, very, very good steward of her money. She does not play with her coins. If she don't have money for it, she'll be like, yeah, mom, well, I don't have money for that right now. If I had enabled her by just paying for everything myself, she would have been like, well, it's your money, so I'm going to spend it how I want. No, that's not what we're doing. You're going to spend your money and you're going to account for it. She does her budget sheet every single time she gets paid. She get paid every other week. Is that right, sister? Every other week? She gets paid every other week and she budgets her money every other week. So I do sometimes have thoughts, not, I don't have judgments. I have thoughts with grown adult people who say they can't budget. You can do it. It's just the act of your will not doing it, right? We can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. That is Philippians 4:13. Some of us just don't want to do it. And I know it's hard to look at all your money and then see it go somewhere else. But once you get to, oh, you should do it anytime. You all door open, door is right on open. Anytime you get to the point where you're now managing your money and your money is no longer managing you, you won't be afraid to look at the numbers anymore. Does that make sense? Some people don't budget because they're afraid of the outcome. We get it. It may not always look pretty, but when you become a better money management of your money, a better money manager of your money, and your money no longer has you by the neck, you're going to be so much better and so much happier for it. That's all I'm saying. I was speaking with someone yesterday. Um, I was speaking with someone yesterday, and I was just thanking them for, being a part of my life. Just, I meet my YouTube people are not just YouTube people. Some of these people have my phone number. Some of these people I've actually seen in person. Some of these folks we've spent nights together, and we just had the ladies all get together. Y'all are not just people online scrolling, right? Y'all are so much more. My friend Tori is just up the street. I mean, I just passed by your road again today, girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in your area, Toya, in just a few. I'm gonna be in your area in a couple weeks. I will be in your area in just a couple weeks. So these are real people to me. But I was just saying to her, thank you so much for, just allowing me to just being in my life, just being a gift to me. And she said, it's because of you that I learned how to do this in my budget. And I almost wanted to text her back and say, but has it been beneficial? But I know it's been beneficial for her. Does that make sense? Because of the conversations that we've had. It can be slow going for some of y'all, but it can move. So don't, do not despise the small things. Don't despise the slow start. Just start somewhere. Just start, right? Put yourself on a 90-day plan. I'm going to budget for 90 days. I'm not asking you to do it perfect. I'm just asking you to do it. If my 16-year-old can budget, you can budget. If my 16-year-old can say, you know what, Mom, I don't have money for that this week, even though she wants it really bad. She wants her things. She's like, no, Mom, I don't have it for this week. I gotta just, nope. She goes on shopping trips with her little friend, her buddy, Carmen, and they have to plan out their trip. She's like, well, I'm gonna have to get you, like, I have my fall shopping money, and she saves up for it. Now, if they need something, all of my children, any of them, if they need something that they just cannot get and it's a need, I will come through for them. But what they are learning is, hey, this is a no right now. And it is just a no right now. I just got back from a work trip. Just got back. Moo, y'all. I'm in the moo. Okay. Cute earrings and a moo. Try it. I just got back from a work trip, and we had stopped to get something to eat. We had a 6-hour drive. My coworkers and I went. We all drove together in the county vehicle. And I had some money in my wallet. I had $26. This is what I had in my wallet. Well, I actually had another 10. So $36. And I almost decided to spend my $5s to pay for the meal. But I had a 10. I said, okay, let me give the 10 because I'm doing a $5 savings challenge. Now I can take these $5 and go spend it anywhere. However, I'm doing a $5 savings challenge. So for me, the better choice, because I have another trip coming up in several weeks from now, that is going to cost me, it's going to cost a right good amount because of where I'm going. I'm going far, far away, but I need these dollars then. I don't need them now. So I'm going to take these 3 $5 bills and I'm going to put them in my $5 savings challenge envelope. Well, Shakima, you can spend your money if you want to. Yes, I can. But when I go on this trip, I want to make sure that I have enough money to eat. I want to make sure that if I meet friends there and they want to go out and do something, if we want to go to a different city, that I have enough money. And here are the $5 that I've been saving. Now, there's another group of people who would say, well, Shakima, you could put that in the bank and you can get your interest. I could, but not everybody has a bank. Not everybody believes in the bank. And so I just try to share and show the things that are helpful to people who follow the plan that I follow, right? Show everybody how you can do it. If you want to go to the bank, go to the bank. It's very good. It's whatever you want to do. Well, that only leaves you $11. That's okay. Don't worry about that because I went out and got my cash for this week for all of my groceries, all of my gas. And here's the truth. I don't need anything. I don't need to buy anything. I'm working on a weight loss journey. I don't need to eat out. I only ate out when I was on the work trip because that was what we had. We had to go eat dinners. We got breakfast and lunch at the trip, but we had to eat out. So I did that. It's the truth. And Tori said she spends cash a lot slower than swipe. The reason, and I'm getting to this budget, y'all. The reason, I'm just going to walk y'all through some things. So if you got to chime out, catch the replay, whatever you got to do. The reason that I use cash is because I am a swiper. I'm a chronic swiper. I'm like swiper, no swiping, swiper, no swipe. I'm all up in the swipe. And then before too long, what I notice is I haven't accounted for all those swipes. By the time I go back, I'm looking for my money and it's just spent because hey, I got it. So I may as well swipe. I know what's in there, but you fail to go back and count for it. You fail to go back and put it on your sheet. So I didn't want to be in that habit anymore. So what I decided to do was go cash base. Cash base works fine for me. This money back here, that's for the trip. I have this money saved for a trip. That's back here for my trip. I have these envelopes saved for my trip. I'm going to pull 4 more envelopes saved for my trip. This was how I paid for the kids and I to go to California, was doing my envelopes. We have to go to California in May. Shamika's getting married. I'm not missing my daughter's wedding because I don't have the money to get on the plane. You have lost all your good mind. What are you going to do, Shakima? I'm going to curb my spending habits. I'm going to do my envelopes because this is the best way for me to remember how to do it. And I'm going to get my envelopes and I'm going to stuff them. If you're very good with your online stuffing and you can keep a track of all of that, do it. But when money is in my account, I start thinking, oh, I can spend that. I was, case in point, I had a termite inspection. I have one every year. They came over and did the inspection. They were supposed to do my 3-month pest spray as well. Well, it was raining that day. It was the day that Tropical Storm was coming through. Tropical Storm Adalia was coming through. We're in Hurricane Alley. It is what it is. So the gentleman said, okay, Miss Wilson, we're just going to reschedule that because I want to make sure that when I put the product down that it works and we don't want to just charge you and the product gets swept away or whatever, washed away. So I said, that's fine. Well, I looked at my sinking funds for my Capital One 360 account because that's where I pay for that stuff out of. And I had $85 in there. I was like, well, I got this $85. I may as well just move this money somewhere else. And I moved the money. And then I remembered you didn't get your pest spray. You didn't get your pest spray, Shakima. So that money has to go back into that account. But I had only moved it into my vacation fund. I think I had moved it to my vacation fund. So I was like, no. I have money I've been saving for vacation. Just put it back because they came today. So tomorrow I'll just go in and pay that bill. But sometimes you forget. I forget. I'm as good as I am. I don't always remember everything. So I want to make sure that I keep account of everything. And at some point before too long, here's the very, very truth. You're going to have more money than bills. If you do this correctly, if you budget the way that makes sense for you, the way that you're making sure you're accounting for all of your spending, all of your transactions, if you do it correctly for you, before too long, you're going to end up having more money than bills. I can promise you, it took us a long time to get to this point, but guess where we are now? We're at this point, right? So don't think I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get there. You are going to get there. And here's how I know I got there. Did I have some months where I missed the mark? Absolutely. But when I got to a point again where I wanted my nobody is going to control Shakima over here. That includes my money, right? Your money spends all your life telling you what it's going to do when you owe other people. I owe nobody. So back to sister, she's going to get this job. We're going to look at a car. We have been looking for some vehicles. Here's what I had decided in my heart. I decided that because we could not find a used vehicle for any decent price. So I was like, you know what? It's no need for sister to pay $24,000, $36,000, $42,000 for a used car. I'll give her my car, which is paid for. I'll make her pay me something for my car. Listen, my car ain't free. I'll take what she gave me, put it down as a down payment on a new car, and I'll take the payment. Y'all know I'm debt free over here, but I wasn't gonna let my 19-year-old have a car payment. I'm not gonna do it, even if that means I have to take the debt this time. She not gonna take that hit. That's not what she doing. And so we've been looking. Still, the cheapest thing I think we found is like 15, 18. Then it goes up to 24. Then it goes up to 36, and it's 42. And these are used cars. Used cars. I'm like, we may as well go to the new car section and see what we can find with no miles on it, right? Well, a friend of mine knows a person who is selling a vehicle. And so what we're going to do, she's like, Shakima, you need to jump on this. She's like, I know this person. I know this family. You need to jump on this. Well, long story short, the mother-in-law is elderly and has had to be put into care. She can no longer drive her vehicle. And he sent it. He didn't do Facebook Marketplace. He didn't do any of that. He just sent it to friends. And she said, Shakima, are you interested in this for Alana? If so, let me know. I said, well, give him my number. And I had been gone on a work trip. And I said, listen, I am interested to come and look. My ex-husband, her dad, is going to FaceTime in. We're doing this together. Again, y'all, you don't got to be mad at your ex. It don't have to happen. He's going to FaceTime in. And we're all three going to go. And then my friend is actually going to meet us there as well. She gave us the contact. So she's going to go, because if we're not interested, she knows somebody else that's interested, but she gave us first dibs. So I called him Sunday and I said, listen, I have to be out of town for a work trip. I do understand you're trying to sell this vehicle, but we would like to come and look at it on Wednesday. And he said, well, you're the first person that has said anything. I'm just going to give you first dibs. I'll hold it. If anybody else calls me, I'll just let them know, hey, somebody's coming and you're next in line. So tomorrow we're going to go and see what we see. My prayer is that the Lord is looking out for us. And it's going to work out for my daughter. She doesn't drive yet. Why would you buy her a car and she doesn't drive? Because the car is a good price and her dad's chipping in some. I've saved my money in here. I've saved all these $20 bills, right? I've saved all these $20 bills for Alana. This is the first child I've ever saved money for a vehicle. It was my pleasure to do it because why? Why is this the first time I've ever been able? I bought my car used. I bought my Blessing car used, and I have not had any issues with my vehicle. The other vehicle that I bought used. I had that car for 8 years. I did not have any trouble with it. So we're just going to pray that the Lord is going to bless us to be able to have a very good report. We are going to test drive it and do all those things. But I am unsure who has 18, 24, 36, and $42,000 to pay for a car. I know my 19-year-old doesn't have it, and she will not incur debt for a car. So here is how we're doing it. If buying new works for your household, then let me bless you with that. You just do it in Jesus' name. We just going to pray over our stuff. We're going to lay hands and believe that the Lord is looking out for us. It could be very true that is the case. I'm not saying we're buying a car. I'm saying we're looking. That's all we're doing. We're going to go look. We're going to investigate. We're going to pray ahead and see what the Lord says. If God says do it, we're doing it. If he says don't do it, we ain't doing it. So again, my sheep know my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not follow. How about that over here at One Mom? That's how we doing it. Hey, Kim. All right, y'all. So I've chatted all the things. Let's jump into this budget, so that y'all are able to see how we're going to be getting our money and financials and all that stuff done, right? I think sometimes, let me be careful here, because I don't want to hurt feelings, but I don't want people to try to, you got to respect what people are doing. It's my right to buy what I want, to put my money where I want to put it. And it's your right to put your money where you want to put it. And nobody should feel bad about that. We should just do what we think is right. I've bought 2 used cars and I have not had any trouble. And when I got to having trouble with it, 8 years later, I bought another one from the same person who treats me right. He didn't even make me stay there. I said, Mr. Willie, I'm on my way to get my car. I'm going to pull this car for me, Mr. Willie. Mr. Willie said, what number to the car, girl? I said, here's the number, Mr. Willie. I got there to the place because he knew me and he knew how I was rolling, because I was rolling up in there like a baller and all the things. Don't play no games, Mr. Willie. He said, give me $1,000, good faith money, and come get your car Tuesday. I don't know a whole lot of people who do that. I don't know. I didn't have to sit in his office. I didn't have to do no paperwork. I didn't have to. He said, give me $1,000. I left my 1,000. He called me on Tuesday at work. He said, your car's ready. Come on over here. You know what I'm saying? I love Mr. Willie. He helps me. I don't know what he do for other people. And again, we're faith-based over here. We believe in the Lord. He's going to either direct our path or not. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust the Lord. In all my ways, acknowledge him. Don't lean on my own understanding, and he's going to help me. So again, would I love to buy Alana a new car? Absolutely. Am I buying her a new car? Absolutely not. And I'm not. Now, Shamika just bought a new car, and my son has had new cars, but he had to make a difficult decision when he moved, and so he had to do something very different. He drives a nice little compact Trandon car. It's for Trandon. And so, hey, you do what you got to do, right? At some point, because Alana's work is 5 minutes from our house, she's not ever going anywhere far from here. She's never going anywhere far from here without mom, at least for the next little bit. So I think we're going to be okay to go just take a little looky-see, right? That's what we're doing. Okay. Let me share this budget with y'all. Praise God. And I hope that was not offensive. Right. Very good. Okay. Perfect. Oh, there we go. All right, y'all. Okay. We're jumping in. Here is our budget for October. So for those of you who have been joining me, you all know that I use the MYMT personal budget worksheet. This is a worksheet I have been using for years and years and years and years. I just forget how long I've been doing this now. We've just been doing it for so very long. This we use because it helps me to be able to not only look at my budget at a glance, but I am also then able to look at my weekly spending, right? Which is what I'm concerned with. What weeks am I spending what monies? And so this budget sheet is broken down into 5 weeks. And when I have a little bit more time, I'll go in and I'll change all of these where it says week 1 expenses. I'll make sure to change those. I'll rename them to the actual week that they are. Right now, we're not renaming them, but I'll do it in just a little bit. So just to go over this sheet for new folks. And again, I've sent this sheet out to many, many, many people. This is not my sheet. I Googled and found this as a free download. If you ever get to this, there is a sheet that's very similar and they're asking you to pay for it. I've never paid for this. I found it on Google for free. It's not mine, but because it was a free, I have shared this and I have said, this is not my sheet, just something I found online. So it's 3 columns here that I work with. All of the formulas are in. So anything that is yellow already has a formula in it for you. Do not change any yellow boxes. Now, if you are very Excel or Google Sheet friendly, you probably can figure out how to add in lines or, add in rows or whatever, if that is your so choosing. I do not do any of that. I work within the confines of the sheet the way it is. So monthly payroll deposit is what I put. So I have one column. A column tells me all of my categories. This is broken down into income is the top section of my sheet and expenses is the bottom section. This is also based around the zero-based budgeting system. And we all know that is our friend Dave. If you're into that, very good. If you want to do something different, very good. However you want to budget that way. Very good. So in my income categories, and then you have what I'm budgeting for that, which I stay away from what I'm budgeting. Partly because my brain can't make it make sense. If I say that I'm going to get $4,000 here, but I only end up with $3,083.18, my brain can't compute the difference. I don't want to overspend my budget So I never put in budgeting income. I only put actual income. That just keeps my brain straight. Now, if your brain can think differently, praise God, hallelujah, glory, and all the things, Shakima's brain cannot think that way. And I've been budgeting a long time. So I have to, even for me, having multiple banks. So I have my state employees, I have Capital One, I have a business bank. I've got 3 different banks. And within those banks, I've got a main checking account, nested savings accounts. All of that gives me, I'm like, Lord, I'm going to mess it up some type of a way. God is gracious. He helps us to do the things. We haven't messed it up yet. And I'm so thankful. Have we come close? Absolutely. However, he's good. So in my income, I have my monthly payroll deposit. I have the kids deposit, or Jackson's deposit now, because it's no longer kids. It's just Jackson. So I'll just take this off and I'll just put Jackson. Let me just make it say that, because sister is not on child support anymore. She's 19 years old. She rolled off the month. She rolled off the month she graduated high school. So she was able to stay on. She turned 19. She turned 18 in January, but she was able to stay until June because she graduated school in June. So she's pretty much been off of child support almost 2 years now. Now, with that being said, the amount has not decreased. So that's how I saved the money for her car. I just pulled it out because it didn't decrease the amount. If the amount had decreased and I needed that for Jackson, I would have just used it for Jackson. Sister didn't ask me to save for her, but because I'm in a different situation now, I'm able to do different things. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. When you get in a different money situation, you can make different money decisions. And there's not anything that I have saved for her that I needed to go out and buy something. I don't need to buy anything else. Nothing at all. Okay. Travel reimbursements. The reason I put that in is because with my job, I can request to be reimbursed if I have to go anywhere other than my work assignment for the day. So I travel between 3 schools. 2 days a week I'm at one school, 2 days a week I'm at one school, 1 day a week I'm at another school. Sometimes I'm at multiple schools a day. It just depends on the week. But if I have to go from my school of record for that day to, say, Central Services, on Friday I had to go to pick up the key for the county vehicle because we were leaving on Sunday. And so I couldn't go get the key on Sunday. I had to go get it on Friday. So I left my school to go to the county office to get the keys. I can now request travel from my school to the county and from the county back to my school because that's where I was leaving from to go home for the end of the day. So I put travel reimbursements now. There's been many, many years where I have not claimed any travel. Well, listen, gas ain't free. And so I'm just being a better steward of what God gives me by remembering to count my travel, if that makes any sense. Okay. And then blessings, funds transferred. If anybody blesses me, I put that as a line item. Or if I go, well, I do my preaching is different. That's a totally different thing. I don't commingle ministry money with my personal money. I don't commingle one mom money with my personal money. That has its own separate account. So anywho, those are what make up my income categories. Now, if you are a husband-wife team and say your husband gets paid every other week, you get paid every other week. You can put husband 1, husband 2, me 1, me 2, extra, bonus week, whatever. You can make those say anything you want. Anything in white you can change without damaging the sheet. But if you notice that as you're putting in financials that your columns are not calculating for you, somewhere you have messed up a formula. So I always tell people who start using this sheet, make a copy of the original sheet. Go ahead and put in all your categories that you want, and then go in and make a copy of it. Save your original and use the copy, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to scroll on down. I'm going to move. Okay. I'm trying to watch what I'm doing and talk at the same time. So my total expenses are in B10. Right? Or my total income, B10. As I move down to my living expenses, I do budget out my living expenses to the nearest, rounded up to the nearest dollar. So my mortgage, $1,000, but my mortgage is actually not $1,000. My mortgage is $892 and some change. $892 30, I believe. But the Lord told me in January, he said, Shakima, I want you to pay $1,000. So we're in month 10. So I've paid $107 per principal every single month for 10 months. So I've paid $1,070 additional to my principal just since January. Because we have, when you go into my mortgage dashboard, you pay your payment, and then you have additional principal, additional escrow, and then your total. So every single month I've paid an extra, well, no, I started in March because that's when my new payment took over. So a little bit, $800 and some change, starting in March. And so I put it to the principal, but by the end of the year or the time we get our next new escrow, I will have paid one full and a half payments towards the mortgage principal, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me. Okay. My electric heating and air, that comes out because I pay that with a different account. My water and sewer comes out because I pay that in a different account. This month, because I didn't make a ton in my one mom, I pulled my cell phone over, although I could have paid it out of one mom income because I do all my filming on my phone. I do all my editing, all of that stuff I do on my phone. Internet, I pay that out of a different fund as well. And so now I'm looking at just the things that I actually pay out of my paycheck. Mortgage, cell phone, household repairs. So we have a broken window. It's not broken all the way, but we believe that there's a stress fracture in one of the windows in my home. And so I had a repair guy come out to give me an estimate and to order the part we need to fix the window. And so every single month, I put $50 into a household repair fund because stuff in your house, I don't care. Unless you live in rented digs or an apartment, you have to pay for anything that happens in your home. I've replaced my dishwasher twice. I've replaced my washing machine, my dryer, my refrigerator's been replaced. And there's just been, I've had to buy flooring for the floors. They're just things that happen. So I put $50 every month into a sinking fund for household repairs. You can do more than 50. This has been helpful for us to keep us from having to have huge expenses in the house. Household miscellaneous, if I wanted to do anything that were going to cost me additional monies, if I wanted to do, redecorate for fall or get Christmas decorations or anything like that, I will put that in household miscellaneous. This month, I'm not doing any of that. We're going to reuse what we have in this house or it's not getting redecorated. And that's just how we're doing it. Lawn care, Mr. Jerome, he cuts my grass twice a month. That's $120. I pay for the expense because again, I don't want Jackson out in that, with all that grass and stuff because it does not do. Sometimes it triggers the asthma, and we are just getting away from allergy shots. Praise the Lord. He has released us from that. Jackson is getting healed in his body, and so we are welcome to that. So he will cut the grass in October. November is iffy. If we see that we have a lot of rain and a lot of grass, he'll come back in November. But generally, Mr. Jerome cuts me from April till October. And then whatever I usually save for Mr. Jerome, I'm going to now start putting in a garden fund so that when spring gardening comes around, I will not have to pull money out of my regular paycheck for my garden. I will have saved up from November until March worth of money for the garden. So I'm implementing that this year. Renewal for my recycling, my pest spray, and my yearly pest spray is about $70. So I will pull that out of sinking fund money as well. Moving down, Amazon Prime is something that I pay for once a month. That is $13. We renew in January. So I save up my renewal money so that when January comes, I'm able to pay it off. One of the things about sinking funds is that you're not having to find the money. You're not having to pull the money from somewhere. And that's the thing that gets a lot of people in trouble as well. We didn't plan ahead. And I know it's difficult, right? Things are just so different after after pandemic and everything. I get it. Things are higher. My paycheck may not be going up, but there are ways you can save. Again, if you got to get a day job, I know on Facebook, listen to me. There are bonuses out here. You can work something. That's all I'm telling you. I post stuff like crazy because I get paid to post. I just get paid to post. I do. They don't pay me for my bonus for my reels, but I get paid to post those encouragements that y'all see every day. That's why I'm doing it. Well, that's not why I'm doing it. I want to encourage people, but if I'm already doing it anyway and they're going to pay me to do it, then yes, I'm going to do it. So there are ways to make finances. PureFlix, that's like the Christian version of Netflix. That's $11. Now my Health Ways gym has been $25 for I probably 8-9 years by now. I don't even know how long I've been doing it. We did just get a thing from them that ours is going up to 29. When sister joined, she had to pay 29. Hers was already at $29, but we were at 25 for a long time. So they are going up to 29. Sister pays her own gym now. I don't pay her gym anymore. That's her bill. Moving down, my federal and state taxes is a sinking fund. Any income that I make outside of my regular paycheck, I put 15% into a fund. And when I have my accountant do my taxes at the end of the year, if I have to pay taxes, I pull that money out. I hope 15% is enough. It has been sufficient for the last couple of years when I've had to pay, and I just go immediately when she sends me my, back my forms and whatever, I go immediately to online, pull out my credit card, my debit card that I have attached to my Capital One, put the money out of my sinking fund for taxes, and I just pay it and I'm done. Moving on with life. So again, if you have a side business, and I learned this from Kimmy on She's in Her Apron years and years ago. I just happened to be catching a video she was doing and talking about that. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I should be doing that. So I've been doing that for years and years, just putting a little bit to the side. It's going to pay off, because you don't want to get a tax bill at the end of the year and you're like, where in the world am I going to get this money from? I am no longer living at where in the world am I going to get this money from? That's just not happening over here anymore. Now, I'm not saying that emergency won't happen. Something might come up again. If I had to get the car so Alana could have my car, I was going to do that for my baby girl. But I'm not, if I can at all help it, I'm not looking for where can I get the money. I'm not coming on here asking people, can you just give me a GoFundMe? Just put it to the GoFundMe. I'm not doing any of that. God willing, I don't have to, because he gives me the ability to get wealth. The Bible tells us that he will give us the ability to get wealth. He gives me brain power enough to start thinking through my process, to start saving, to stop spending. I have had to say no to Shakima quite a lot, and that is okay. It is okay to say no to yourself at some point, because at some point, enough no's are going to turn into enough extra to say yes. Y'all keep that. Okay. High school sinking fund. High school curriculum. That should not say high school curriculum. That should say high school fund for Jackson. $50. We save that for Jackson every single month because his dad sends him child support. He got new shoes. He got Hey Dudes, and he got another pair of shoes. I don't know what they were, but they were a name brand. Oh, look at Jackson. He wears a size 12. At this point, I got to start thinking about quality versus quantity and trying to do the cheap stuff, because I don't want him to have foot problems, and he's growing. He wears a size 12 shoe. He's 14 years old. I got to do that and put that into it for him. And his dad sends the child support. Thank you, ex-husband, for being up on that child support. Like, he don't play no games no more with Shakima. He used to play that in the beginning. We got it all straightened out. Like, we not playing nothing. Get the money in here for your children. And he has been fantastic making sure that everything comes. I also go through the state and it comes into my account. He doesn't pay me direct. He pays the state. That's for two reasons. For one, I want to make sure that we have a record that it came, and then he has safety. So I don't go back and say, no, he didn't pay my payment this time. That is record keeping. It's coming through the state. They see what's in and what's out. If he doesn't do his part, they deal with him. If I might say a bad thing about what he did, they go back and check the record. They deal with me. So we just keep it all on the up and up. And I asked for that in the very beginning, and we have been straight. New camera. I still have been trying to replace my phone so that I can have better camera quality. I always save $20 in that fund. Scrolling on down, I feel like I'm taking a long time. I'm sorry, y'all. Monthly groceries. Okay, we're doing another no spend September, or a low spend September. I took out $200, which is $50 a week. Oh, we're in October. We're doing a low spend October. Sorry, y'all. Low spend, because we still have a lot of meat in our freezers and we want to use that up. So hopefully by the end of October, when I get my supplement in November, and I just heard that they passed the budget, which means excuse me, should get my step. That was rude. I should get my step. It'll be the final pay raise I get before I retire. So this will be my 25th step, although I'm on my 26th year of teaching. And so this will be the final pay raise I get unless they change the rules again. And we should get it back from our very first paychecks. They just passed the budget in September. So we should get that money caught up. Plus, I get my supplement at the end of the month. So I'm hopeful that if we eat up enough of what we have in here, then I can go to Sam's or Costco, like I've seen many people, and buy a lot of meat. And then we can have fresh meat. If not, we'll go to Food Line or Harris Teeter or wherever we can find the deals. But I do want to use what I have. I don't want to waste what I have. I know I have about 10 chickens, 10 whole chickens in my freezer. And so I've got to use that. So $50 just to get the basic necessities, milk, eggs, bread, butter, that type of stuff. For my summer groceries, I keep $100 out because that's what the Lord told me to do. He didn't tell me to increase it this year. We do not get paid in June or July, and I still have to feed my children. So every single month I get paid for 10 months. I pull out $100 every month. That gives me $1,000 to spend in those 2 months, $500 in June, $500 in July. Well, it actually ends up being $500 in July and $500 in August, because then we get paid at the end of August. So $500 in July, $500 in August, and that works out for us. And then monthly preps and eating out. I chat with y'all a little bit about that. I did pull out monthly prep money, and I pulled out eating out money this one time, $50 each. Now, I took Jackson out to eat because he did so very well in soccer last week. It was his best game ever. He does his best out there. He practices extra. And I wanted my son to feel very appreciated. Now, the restaurant we went to was a little pricey. And I took my sister. My sister is she like their second mama over here. So we wanted to take her, and we paid for her. So between the monthly preps and the eating out, we took care of the bill. And so that money is totally gone. We don't need any preps right now. I do plan to get back into the preps, but we are rotating through what we have, right? I was eating some crackers the other day and they were stale. They've been sitting up there. We need to rotate through that stuff. So when we do our next set of preps, it's just going to be make sure you're rotating through, make sure you're rotating through. We do want to have food in the house, but we don't want to just keep food in here for the sake of having it. We want to eat it and replenish. So that money is totally gone. We've already spent it. It was fine. I don't mind doing that for Jackson. And again, I'll get child support money. So if I need to do some extra groceries, I can do it from there. If not, it's perfect. For the trip I went on, because I did have to purchase a few meals, I am going to tomorrow when I go back to work, put in my request to reimburse those couple of meals. I think there's 3 meals I can request for. So if I need to take it out of that money when it comes back, it'll be perfectly fine. No problem. Jackson needs 2 haircuts this month. I am not getting my haircut at all. I am getting it colored, however. I didn't put color in here for right now, but I will pull that out of something. It's not till the end of the month, so it'll probably come out of my, one of my streams of income. It'll come in from that. The P.O. box, which we do use, very thankful for anybody that sends us stuff through the P.O. box, and we do a lot of reviews, so I keep it for that reason. It's $17. I'm not buying any clothes this month, although I do have a trip coming, and I have purchased some items, but I have been using ministry money because it's for a ministry trip. So if it is coded ministry, I'll use ministry money, and if it's not, then I'll use personal money. And that's just something me and the Lord talked about. He said, Shakima, you're just going to have money in that account. So if I go preach somewhere and they give me a love offering, I tithe and I put that money, what's left, back into that account. And so that has helped us tremendously. When I do my First Love ministry stuff, when I do Titus 2 Women, when I do Daughters of Grace, I do not take up offerings for myself. I do that every single week. For an hour and a half every single week. I answer emails. I do counseling sessions. I do not take up an offering. It is just what I'm doing. But if I go off somewhere and they want to bless me, I don't say no anymore. I used to say no to that as well. But I have to travel to get there, and I need to look nice when I'm there or get my hair done when I'm there. So those, I use that for ministry purpose. Dentist, doctor, and vet. So $150. Gwen has to go back and get her last set of shots. She's 16 weeks now. How old is Gwen? She's almost 5 months, so almost 20 weeks. She has to get her last set of shots. So I plan for that. I do have some money in the sinking fund, and I'll pull some out if I need to. But I wanted to make sure that I could cover everything. I used to pay for a natural supplement. However, my Benefits Flex card has reloaded itself. It reloads in September. So now I just use the Benefits Flex card to pay for that supplement, which I still get every single month. For recreation, travel, and entertainment vacation, I am going on a ministry trip. It is for a few days. It's a pastor's conference. I've never been to a pastor's conference by myself. I've been to one before, but I wasn't a pastor then, but I was allowed to attend. And I should have been thinking that the Lord was prepping me for all these years later. But I've never been to a pastor's conference on my own. So I am setting aside $500 if I can. If I can't, it's okay. $500. I've already paid for my plane ticket, and I am saving up now for my hotel and rental car. And I think I have just about all of that saved, and then for food. So that's what that money is for. So whatever I'm able to save, I just gave myself a number. It's not like I have to have $500. I put that into the fund, and I actually preached Sunday at my church, and somebody gave me a love offering. So I tithed and put what that was left into the account because I am going to use money for the trip. Jackson gets $100 in his savings account. Gracie and Gweenie, I have increased them to $60 a month only because I have to buy food. Gween, we buy one small bag of food that lasts her forever and ever and ever. Gracie gets food every 6 to 8 weeks, just depending on how fast she eats it. And so I do have to keep something in there for them. Gas is $200, $50 a week because I do have to travel between my schools. Oil change, I always keep $20 in that account. For tires, I keep $20 in. I just had to replace my brakes. So all that money for repairs came out, but I will put more money in. But I had the money there to replace the brakes. I didn't even have to borrow money from anywhere else. I just had the money in there. My license, registration, car insurance, I just renewed car insurance for 6 months. It renewed October 1st, but I paid it in September. And I just got my sticker, which I need to get that in September. So I just got that. So I'm good for a whole nother year. So I'm good on insurance for 6 months, and I'm good on my registration for a year. But I still collect money and put it into my sinking fund so that when February comes around, when I'm getting ready for my next renewal on my insurance, I have the money already saved up front. Car replacement money for sister. I put $80 in the envelope for her. I have just a little over $800. I promised to save $1,200 for her. So I'm going to make that promise and get her to the $1,200. After that, I'm done. Dad has also been saving up some for her. I don't know what that number is because we don't chat about that. That is his business, and I don't ask questions. Tithe for my church is $520. And then I do have ministries that I support, and I did $270 for that. That is something that the Lord shared with me this year to increase my giving, and I have been blessed. I haven't missed anything. God has provided. And so I know some people get really upset with me about tithing, but I can't tell you how or when or not or whatever. I'm just telling you what works over here at this house, and I'm going to believe God. I'm believing God for some very, very big things, and so I'm just going to have to give big. That gives us a total expense of $3,899 that we need to bring in. Now, if you notice back up at the top, my paycheck was $3,083.18. So at this point, I have I'm not at the $899, but a ton of those are sinking funds, and I only use my brand money, which comes from Facebook, for sinking funds now. Let me stop sharing. I'll get back to you guys. Well, I can see your comments and stuff because I'm not able to see those right now. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you're a blessing. Well, I appreciate that. Oh, man. Well, that's awesome. Oh, thank you, Miss Alicia. I missed all the comments. I'm sorry. Jackson's Gym. Rachel, you be coming through every time. That's my girl, Rachel. Rachel helps me out. Okay. Where did I have that last time? Probably regular payments. I'm going to throw that in. Do I want to put that in regular payments? No, that's not the house. Okay. Regular payments. Scroll on down, Shakima. Jackson Gym. How about I put it right here and see what that happened? Okay. Jackson Gym. And that's $42. It's $21 every 2 weeks. And so thank you, ma'am, because I forgot. Shucky duck. Okay, I didn't mean to forget, but I did. So that puts us now at $3,941. So remember, anything for Jackson comes out of his child support. So I don't have to pull that out of my paycheck. Anything for ministry, that comes from a different fund. Anything that is a sinking fund, if it said SF for sinking fund, that comes out of brand money. So I know what I'm getting into my account for October. We actually, it's a month behind. Facebook and YouTube are a month behind in their payouts. So I already know what's coming in. I just found out today what's coming in for Facebook. So now I can sit down and look and see how much I have going in for my sinking funds. And if there's anything left after I pay my taxes, I pay my tithe, and I pay my extra to the other ministry, anything left, I then have now been putting it into my either vacation fund or trip fund or my savings, because I do have to get that 3 to 6 months up. The Lord said to me, Shakima, 3 to 6 months, we're not playing no games. So I need you to get on it. So I'm like, okay, God, I heard him. Right after this trip comes up, then I am going to be hard focused on that 3 to 6 months savings, right? I'm gonna be hard focused on that. Karen, I'm gonna respond to your comment. She said, you say you put extra to your principal. Do they automatically know? They do not automatically know, but there is on my dashboard when I pay my mortgage, there is a place on there that says specifically for principal. And so I put it in that place. So it's like regular mortgage payment, extra principal, extra escrow, and then a total. So I put that money in the place where it says extra principal, and then it does a total calculation, just so they will know that yes, it's going to the principal. I thank you, V. V says she's loving the live budgets. Here's the thing, y'all. I don't have time to film almost nothing at this point, and I'm trying. So I have to decide if I want to do full-time ministry, or if I want to do YouTube. And so right now, the only way that I'm able to really, really, really do YouTube is to do it live the majority of the time. And I do have a few filmed videos, like reviews and stuff. I have one coming up that I have two coming up. I need to actually do the voiceovers for, and there's no time. But the ministry is where my heart is, and so I've got to give time to that and focus on that. And if you've been following me for any length of time, see, I'm gonna get emotional with y'all people. Y'all just make me like this. I prayed that when I got to a point in my career, and when my children got to a certain age, that the Lord would open up travel for me, for the ministry, because travel ministry is my heart. I want to go out into the highways and byways, and I just want to do that. And so the Lord has opened it up finally for me in this season. And so what that means is I'm in several different directions trying to make it all work out. I got to make sure my kids are taken care of if I leave, right? My sister is very close. My other sister they both live about 5 minutes from me. We're all right here together. But I have to make sure my kids are taken care of. I have to make sure that it's not at a time that Jackson needs me for school. I have to make sure that I am able to take off work for my 7 to 3 job that pays the bills around here, because, my social media don't pay my bills. It is a help. It is a very big help, but it is not at the point where I can quit my job. And God didn't tell me to quit. So I'm still working. So I got to do that. And then the ministry is really taking off. Titus 2 Women is just very expansive and explosive. And I just love Titus 2 Women. Well, I'm starting a new book study with just my YouTube ladies and Facebook ladies and people that have just found me. And we're doing God is a Matchmaker. And that's going to be on Friday nights. So that's another thing, right? So now I don't have time to film on Fridays. I don't have time to edit on Fridays. I got to do the ministry, but I got to do the ministry. Can I just say that to y'all? Because I know some of y'all get frustrated. Like, Kimmy, you gonna have any more budget videos? I'm trying, but I got to do the ministry, y'all. It's in my heart. It pulls me. It won't, and it won't let me go. Right. And I don't want it to let me go, because this is my portion. This is my portion. And some of you may not understand that, but it is what it has to be for Shakima. So that's why I'm very thankful that I now have the streaming software where I can do I can do YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So it's all out there. Y'all can go back and catch the replay. It's perfect. If you miss it, I try to make sure that I put it budgeting first so that you'll know, but I do my best. It is just how, as how I can, it's the best I can do. There it is. So I have paid bills already for this month. I'll go back in and I will put in all those. I paid my mortgage. I paid the cable bill. I mean, not the cable, internet. I've paid the cell phone bill. I paid the utilities for the month. I paid the water bill. All the main bills that need to be paid have now been paid. So I am making sure that everything now, what I'm doing is I'm looking at my accounts to make sure everything has passed through. Once everything has passed through, which I still have the vet for Guinea, and I have the vet, Jackson's gym, because that comes out of child support. There's one more thing. Okay, he just texted me they'll be home in 30 to 35 minutes. So I got to keep this moving. So a couple more things that actually have to come out, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So there's no random spending, no randomized spending, just for spending's sake, until I make sure that every single bill has come out and we are all clear with our expenses. Now, okay. I did go and get cash, so I'll just share these little cash things with you real quick, but I am going to put them in. Y'all do know I do the envelopes. These are I have something in my eye. Lord help me. What I need, these are my cash envelopes. I get these from an Etsy shop called Conversation. And of course I have for my savings challenges, I use the Black Queen, right? This is the Black Queen. If you're looking for her shop, I have pinned a post on my Facebook page. I pinned her shop there. You can go and look for it. People ask me all the time, Shakimo, I can't find it. It's pinned on my page. If you go to my page, it's the very first thing you see before you start seeing anything else I posted. So go to my page on Facebook. It's the very first thing before you see everything else. Okay. Even for things like that, y'all, I answer tons and tons and tons of inboxes and DMs. How do I find this? How do I find that? All for free, just because I want you to have the information. I do it because the Lord told me. Okay, so I got my cash out. This is my cash that I'm going to need for the next month. These are all my cash categories. Now, again, y'all are seeing this, but by the time you see this, Mr. Jerome's already come. I've already paid. I got to take out money for grocery and gas because Wednesdays is grocery day. So I will be doing groceries tomorrow. So again, people say, oh, Shakima, you shouldn't keep cash. We keep nothing in this house. Grocery money. I mean, and I'm going to the grocery every week. So it's really already spent, honestly. Like Jay Morrell says, already gone. Already gone. You don't even see it. It's already gone. Okay. So this $100 bill, this is for my summer groceries. Got to have this in summer groceries. I do have a clear folder, a clear binder that I keep my summer groceries in. So I have, at this point, I should have $300. Let me make sure, because I only have $200. Why do I have $200? August, which is September. So September, October. That's what I have. September, October. That's what I have. Because my August money becomes my September budget, right? So I only have $200 bills, but I'm only $800 more to go. All right. So every single week, I'm doing $50 in groceries and $50 in gas. So that's $100 for 4 weeks. So that's 100. That's 2 weeks. That's 3 weeks. That's 4 weeks. There may be a fifth week. Does anybody know if there's a fifth Wednesday in October? I did not check that out. And if there is, because I've already gotten cash out, what I'll do is I'll just use child support money to get groceries on the fifth week if we have one. And again, we're only getting things like milk, eggs, cheese, bread, And I am stuffing these, y'all. I'm stuffing these in the envelopes. Only 4. Okay, I thought I was right, but sometimes. Rachel, come through. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. So $50 for gas, $50 for groceries. And now remember, every other week, sister gives me money for gas. Now, does sister have to give me money for gas? She does not. However, if she rides in her vehicle, she is going to have to pay gas. So what I want her to start learning is I'm going to have to put gas in my car. So I've got to put gas in mama's car. Please, 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 nobody think that I'm fleecing my child and she has to pay me. I'm teaching responsibility. Even if you're that parent who doesn't believe your child should have to pay you for anything, make them do it anyway. Take the money, put it in a savings account, high interest yield savings account, let it get some interest. And then when they move out, if you feel bad about taking money from them, when they move out, or when they want to go to college, or they want to, buy a car, whatever. If you have saved up all the money that was in your agreement with them, then you can say, I'm gifting you this X, Y, and Z amount. If you feel bad about taking money, let me tell you something, I don't feel bad. She don't feel bad when I pay the mortgage. She don't feel bad when I pay her health insurance. She don't feel bad about none of that. But it's teaching responsibility. So if you, and I get it, some parents want to do all the things. I can't do all the things for my children, because if I do it all now, they're going to expect it later. And I'm raising adults over here. Mr. Jerome, he gets 121, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 2 lawn cuts for Mr. Jerome. And we're going to be living our best life. So I put in lawn maintenance for Mr. Jerome. And then every month I make sure that I go through and check my envelopes to make sure that we have, taken out any money that we left in. And then more than likely we'll do groceries, or I might need a little extra gas or something like that. I did have, okay, this was $4. So out of the $100 I had for eating out and monthly preps, we spent $96. So I left the tip. We had the meal. I left the tip. So it was $4 left. I'm just going to throw this in my wallet because it's just ones. I'm not saving ones. And again, I'm going to the grocery store. So if I needed extra grocery money, that's $4 extra that is going in with my $11 that I have. If you only have saved the change, look, here's all the change. If all you can do is save your change, I've got all that change in there. Save the change, save something. I just believe that you can. I don't believe that anybody is beyond saving. I don't believe that anybody can't save anything. I just believe that sometimes you have to have a hard conversation. I knew a person who would call it a courageous conversation. And sometimes that has to be with yourself. And you have to say, listen, you cannot have that right now. I know you want it. Shakima, I work hard for my money. So do I. And so do the people that loaned you theirs. So because you had to borrow it, you're going to have to now pay interest and you're going to be working harder. But if at this moment you say, you know what, I am done with all of that extra. I'm done with all of this, feeling spending, emotional spending. You have to understand the psychology of why you spend. Why do I do this? I'm being self-destructive in this spending. I mean, I'm an Amazonian over here, y'all. And sometimes I have to be like, nope, you're not getting that on Amazon. Nope, not today, Shakima. Nope. But if I have it, right? If I've done well, because we've done well, right? So we've got this money, but sister's money, for some reason, if we do decide the vehicle, that money's gone. That's a tomorrow's decision, maybe the next day's decision, but that's gone, right? But at least we have it to do what we want to do. All right, y'all. I got to go pick up Jackson. I hope that was helpful. Thank you all so much for bearing with me. I did delete that other video. So this is the budget video. I will try to do some updates if I am able. I'm not promising. I just cannot promise. Y'all just please bear with me and know that I am in such a different place right now with other things that the Lord is calling me to. I'm here for this community. I'm here for this community now. Don't get it twisted. I'm here for all y'all, but not maybe as oft as I was posting before, once or twice a week and live more than likely, right? Okay. So I love all y'all. Y'all be blessed. Do all the good things. If you have questions about budgets, please leave it down in the comments. Don't forget that we're doing the drawing for the giveaway on Friday, October the 6th. We're going to do that right before 8 p.m. because I have my first class with the ladies. God is the matchmaker. If you want in on that, send me an email. I love all y'all, and we're going to see y'all next time. Do good things. Be good to people. Bye now.